Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Today is the 6th of Sha'ban, 1439 after Hijrah. And we are on chapter 4, fasting, page 257, the ruling of the fast. Fasting the month of Ramadan is one of the pillars of Islam and one of its obligatory acts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who believe, observing the fast is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become the pious. Shortly afterward, Allah also says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه. The month of Ramadan in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for mankind and clear proofs for the guidance and the criteria between right and wrong. So whoever of you is resident during the month must observe fast.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. As we have said the last time, alhamdulillah, that our chapter synchronizes with the current time. We haven't got more than 23 nights to go for the month of Ramadan to come in. And it's another Ramadan. And if you refer back to some of my talks, it would have been talking about the same thing, that another Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us to live to more Ramadans in order to expiate our sins, but we all the time, we need reminders, just like we need as well refill stations to fill up taqwa, inshallah. The reminders is just to remind ourselves that Ramadan should not be a month of habit, where people, as soon as they hear the month of Ramadan, they'll make sure that their fridges are full of food and sweets and drinks. So it comes to the mind of those people, a month of food. While others who are suffering from obesity, the month of Ramadan comes to them as a month of dieting and dropping weight. The month of Ramadan for other people comes in as well, a month of laziness, a month of sleeping, a month of playing PlayStations and cards and all of that. But we need to be from the category of those people who the month of Ramadan is for them, is a month of ibadah, a month of Quran. Can I just ask the brothers at the back to come forward, I mean, this is gaps and like that. It's not really in category for the class. Here, sure. As we know that Islam was built on 5 pillars. One of them is the fast of Ramadan. When it comes to the mind of so many Muslims, the fast of Ramadan, that means they need to abstain from food from the day, morning until the evening. But it doesn't come to his mind that the fasting is 2 types. The physical, the body, which is everybody does, hopefully every Muslim would do. And the second one, which is the spiritual, which people they don't pay attention to. So this month basically is to train us spiritually for our ibadah. So it's a month that we get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let you just change your habit. Every Ramadan comes in just like a routine, something that you do every year. As I said, make sure that your chicken is, mashallah, full of it in your fridge, or kebab, or all of that. And some of them as well, they've got special food and special drinks that particular month. So you'll find the pinkish drink in that month. Ruh Afza, as some of the Pakistani brothers have. You only find it in that month. You heard about that? Some people say, I'm looking forward for Ramadan. Why? Ruh Afza is there. Haven't tasted it for a long time. Wallahi, it's like that. Wallahi. As for the person who is looking forward for the month of Ramadan, he's looking for that ibadah. He's looking that he's been into the sins so many times. and the dunya doesn't leave you alone. So somehow in Ramadan it leaves you alone a bit. So inshallah Allah Azza will make us to live that month, and inshallah make us as well to maximize our profit from the hasanat. The ayah is a beautiful ayah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Almighty, very rare in the Quran, where when He obligates something, straight away He will tell you why I have made it obligatory upon you. Very rare. Usually it is the case that Hajj is prescribed to be upon compulsory. Dam and carrying blood is to be prohibited. But there is no hikmah is being shown to us. We believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla, and we believe whatever He commands us is to be for our sake and beneficial to us, even though we don't understand maybe. But in this particular ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He makes this fast to be obligatory, and at the same time He tells us why. O you who believe. He's only addressing the people who believe in Allah to be the Lord, and believe in the Prophet to be the Prophet, and to believe that the Quran is their book and Islam is their religion. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and other scholars of the Salaf said, if Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, in the Quran, O you who believe, then listen in silence. Pay attention. For verily it is either good He's going to command you to do, or evil He's telling you not to approach it. So He says, Kutiba alaykum as-siyam, fast was made obligatory upon you. It is not you on your own that has been made obligatory upon you, but it was made upon those before. He said, Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qabl. Siyam in other religions, it was even harder than the fast of our religion. Previous religions, when they fast, they have to be awake in the time of the breaking of the fast. If they happen to be sleeping, you may not eat until the following day. So if you're not eating during the Maghrib time, and you skip that time, then you need to come to fast for another 24 hours. That's a lot. So alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa made it easy for us. For verily, the prayer was harder, the fast was harder on those before us. And that is when the Prophet ﷺ, he had the prayer being obligated upon him. It was 50 times. Why? Because people before us used to pray 50 times. And that is why he went down the Prophet of Allah, Musa alayhi salam, he said, how many prayers did Allah Azza wa Jalla obligate upon you? He said 50. He said, go back and ask for reduction, for I have tried. Because I have tested the people of Israel, they couldn't take it. So they were to pray what? 50. So why didn't Allah Azza wa Jalla from the beginning just make it 5 and that's it? Why should the Prophet go back and forward and go back and forward? Well, number one, this is not your business. Allah, He wills whatever He wills. Number two, it just shows you as well, when this happens, it shows you that you as a Muslim to be grateful to Allah that you are born in this era. To have 5 daily prayers, as little as that, and yet getting the reward of what? 50. Just like these people pray 50, pray 5, equivalent to 50. Same thing with the fast. You have to be grateful. And never ever show a sign of sort of resilience or not accepting. Like for example, oh, Ramadan again is going to be during the hot days and long days, and God knows how many words He mentions, subhanAllah. And He knows that as soon as Ramadan kicks in, Allah makes it easy. Even for those who do not fast voluntary, having been trained, make it easy. Because fasting for the sake of Allah. And then it says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is why we are fasting. To have taqwa. So make sure that your taqwa really on the top, mashallah. So that is why you fill up taqwa. Taqwa. For verily the taqwa is your ticket to Jannah. Then he says, after that, the ayat, Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, the one Quran is being revealed in it. So we know that the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. Whether it is the revelation of the Quran in its entirety, in its orbit, from the Lawh al-Mahfuz down to the house al-Izzah, Bayt al-Izzah, which is in the Sama' al-Dunya, in one go, and that is in the night of Al-Qadr, the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Or the first verses which were revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, in Ghar Hira, they also were revealed according to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ on the 25th night of Ramadan. And Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma قال, Prophet ﷺ said, Islam was built upon 5 pillars of Islam. One of them is fasting Ramadan. And third proof that it's compulsory, that is the whole ummah, companions and others, that they have consensus regarding the obligation of fasting the month of Ramadan, and it is one of the pillars of Islam which is known through the religion by necessity, and he who denies it, then he is a kafir, even if he fasts. If he denies the fast to be a pillar, then he is a kafir, not a Muslim. Virtues, please.
The virtues of the fast of Ramadan. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever fasts the month of Ramadan with faith and hoping for its reward shall have all of his previous sins forgiven for him. Abu Hurairah.
So Prophet ﷺ, he said, Man sama Ramadan, he who fasts Ramadan. Now, lots of people fast Ramadan, but there's 2 things here attached to this fast: imanan wa ihtisaban. Imanan, believing it is obligatory, and I'm happy that it is Allah Azza wa Jal chose it for me, because whatever Allah chooses for me is going to be for my sake. So believing that Allah does not want to torture me through this fast, that's the belief in it. You believe that Allah is imposed upon you the fast is for your own sake. He doesn't need your fast. Whether you fast or you don't fast, you don't affect Allah the Almighty. So believing that there is a hikmah, regardless of the hikmah which is mentioned to us, the taqwa, there is more than that. For verily, every single ibadah that you do has got a hikmah. Either it's been shown to you in the Quran or the Sunnah, or scholars have deduced it from other texts, or it's hidden, and it's not correct for you to ask, what's the hikmah, what's the wisdom of doing this and that? It is not. You just do it. Because the believer, he says, أطعنا, سمعنا وأطعنا. Meaning we hear and obey. That's it. You don't question. Because you know that Allah the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala only obeys what is good to you. Then the second one, ihtisaba. Ihtisaba, meaning hoping for the reward. And not really showing any sort of hint of dislike. If I give you the opposite of ihtisab, then you will know what is ihtisab. Person who is all the time saying, left another Ramadan. Oh, I don't know. This is too much. That's not ihtisab. Person who is fasting is trying to waste as much as possible from the time in order the time passes. And the last moments he's watching the clock. 3 minutes. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. 1 minute, 60, 59, 40, 39, 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. He's not fasting for the sake of Allah. This person is actually fasting, call it the clock fasting, whatever you want to call it. And the thing that drives me as well, provokes me, and these people start their breaking of the fast with what? Cigarette. Wallahi, I have seen a person who was giving me a lift from one A to B. He was fasting. The first thing he started with, cigarette. I said to him, subhanAllah, I'm not going to tell him off because he's fasting at least. I have to get him be easy by eating out. MashaAllah, you have submitted to Allah's laws for almost 14, 15 hours. You didn't have a cigarette. You could have just continued that. Allah, I know, it just gives excuses. I know what you don't know and what to say. I'm not going to say to him, your fast is not accepted, but I'm going to say to him, You think the fast is just to fast from the cigarette like that? No, it's more than that. It's to fast from the sins as much as possible. Everybody's a sinner, he has to change himself. So that is iman and ihtisab. But I'll tell you what, if you do that, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. All his sins will be forgiven in the previous time. Prophet ﷺ, he also said, مَنْ قَامَ رَمَضَانَ, he who stands up in the prayer, إِيمَانًا وَاحْتِسَابًا, believing that this prayer is good for him, ihtisaba, hoping for the reward. The opposite of that, this person, he just keeps looking at the clock, the watch, and every time he prays and he just finds it really difficult when he makes the qiyam, he does maybe 2 rak'ah, 4 rak'ah, and then goes home, or even doesn't do it at all. That's not iman and ihtisab. If you do that in Ramadan without even, so the fast and also the qiyam, if you do that, then you are having your sins to be forgiven. So that's as well a bonus. So this month is not just to do with the fast, also to do with the what? With the qiyam. Ramadan, Taraweeh. Also Allah's Messenger has said, Man qama laylat al-qadr. He who stands up in the night of prayer, of laylat al-qadr. Just one night. That means you don't know what's laylat al-qadr, you just do it in the last 10 nights. Iman and ihtisab, believing in it and not having any hatred towards it. He loves it, then all his previous sins will be forgiven. Then there's a hadith here. Narrator please, Abu Hurairah.
Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu also narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah has said, all the deeds of the human are for him except fasting. It is for me, and I shall reward it. The fast is a shield. If it is a day in which one of you is fasting, he should avoid sexual relations and purity. If anyone wants to pick a fight with him, he should say, I am fasting. By the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad, the smell coming from the mouth of a fasting person is better to Allah
The
than
smell?
the
The smell?
smell.
The bad smell is possible.
Yes.
No.
Mouth of a fasting person.
Good smell would be. The bad smell, yes. Yes.
Mouth of a fasting person is better to Allah than the scent of musk. For the fasting person, they are 2 occasions of pleasure. When he breaks his fast, he is pleased, and when he meets his Lord, he will be pleased with his fasting.
Right. This hadith needs a lecture its own, but I've had to sort of abbreviate the explanation of it. This hadith, first of all, is Qudsi or Qudusi, meaning that Allah is the one who's saying it, and the Prophet ﷺ conveying it in his human words. So Allah said. When it says Allah said, that means it's a Qudsi. Now, I'm not going to go into the difference between Qudsi and not Qudsi, but let's just say that Qudsi is not the Quran. Quran, you see Alif Lam Mim, 10 hasana, 30 hasana. It's not the same as the Hadith al-Qudsi. But you could say the Hadith al-Qudsi is the higher level of a Hadith. Allah said, كل عمل ابن آدم له. All the acts of son of Adam is to be for him, except for fasting. Now, if you don't really understand this hadith, you think, oh, so the prayer, and the hajj, and the zakah is for me, except for fasting. No, this hadith has been explained by another narration, which is in Sahih Imam Muslim, where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, كل عمل ابن آدم يضاعف. All the acts, the ibadah of the son of Adam is to have a multiple reward. إلا الصيام, except for fasting. I mean, the other ibadat, it has sets of multiples, whether it's 10 times, 50 times, up to 700 times. But fasting, it is not mathematics. It's nothing to do with maths, because the maths will not give you the real or the reality of the multiple. It's beyond your multiples. Do you understand that? So it is for Allah. So because the person when you fast is always accompanied with sincerity. He could pretend that he's fasting, no one would know that he's fasting or not. When the person prays and he doesn't pray, he pretends to pray, but I mean, if he's 24 hours with me, I would know that he prays or not, because he has to show physically. But if he's fasting, I don't know. He's not going to hang some sort of a tray. His neck says, look, I've got food, I'm not eating it. No one would do that. But that prayer I could see, the fast I can't see. And that is why it is for Allah Azza wa Jalla. Between you and Allah. He said, I will give it. I will recompense it. And I always give an example for this is like, if you are with your colleagues working in a company and you're doing this special work, extra to your boss, and the boss basically is giving a particular salary to each worker except for yourself. He's saying to you, your salary is with me. No one would know how much. Why? Because you're special. What sort of thoughts would go in the mind of those other workers? Just tell us how much. What is it that you do that, the boss is giving you special salary? Just tell us, we want to do the same thing. We want to be special. This is what you are special when you fast. So when you fast the month of Ramadan, you're special. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you something only Allah knows. Then he says, "As-siyamu junnah," fasting is a shield. In this dunya, a shield against women. You need that in the summer. God help us. There's a competition outside. How much naked can you get? I'm telling you. Wallahi. Isn't it true, everyone? How much naked can you get? This one she says, not much, another one says, no, I'm more than you. And it's getting really worse. Every day it's getting worse. Don't hang out, especially youth or not married in the markets. Don't hang out in the markets. There's no ibadah in the markets. Wallahi, I feel sort of pity for those who don't know where you're going to look. Unless you're going to look like this, but if I do like this, I'm going to crash my car. I look up and down. Fasting is one of the solutions. When your glucose drop, especially just before you eat, nothing goes in front of you except for chicken, kebab, barbecue. Forget about the nakedness now. And it is also a shield in the hereafter. One day, for the sake of Allah, a trench between you and the hellfire. Saving. So if it happens to be the fasting day of one of you, then let him not yarfuth wala yasakh. Not to language-wise, let him not lose his plot. Not to really say bad words. And also the rafath means make sexual intercourse. Whether it is a'udhu billah zina, or also you cannot approach your wife halal way, unless you are not fasting. Let's say you're a traveler, she's a traveler, no problem. Or during the night, after the breaking of the fast. And if someone is to insult you, and you have the right to insult him back, in retaliation, word for word, you are a pig and you are a pig. No problem. But in that particular month, you don't do anything except that you say that I'm fasting. But you have to explain to the non-Muslim what you're talking about. Muslim will understand that I'm fasting. Oh yeah, Ramadan, sorry. But if you're going to tell the non-Muslim you're fasting, does it make sense to him? It might provoke him as well. Well, you tell him that I'm down in the month of this holy month of Ramadan, I could really, I've got the same tongue like yours. Whatever you say, I could say it as well, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm fasting, it's Ramadan. Tell him that. If it's going to enrage him, let it enrage him. Because that's what it is. Prophet ﷺ asked the companions, Mas surah? What is surah? Surah means like powerful person who cannot be defeated by men. Champion, wrestler. Mas surah? The one who cannot be defeated. He said, no, surah is the one who controls himself in times of anger. That's the power. So you could be a big, massive person, muscles, soon as somebody says something or does something in front of you, you lose your temper and you act stupid. So the one who controls himself in times of anger, that's the surah, that's the one who's champion. Then he says, وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُحَمَّدٍ بِيَدِهِ, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad. This is how the Prophet of Allah usually make an oath. I always tell the Ash'ari, the one who do not believe in, in the hand, they say the hand is mercy or power. So the Prophet ﷺ is the most eloquent speaker, as he said. And every time that he is making an oath, he says, by the one in whose hand is my soul. Hasn't he got another word if there's no hand for Allah Azza wa Jalla? And just have another word, instead of misleading us all this time, by the one in his hand, my soul. So it's like misleading. If the hand doesn't mean the hand, Prophet is misleading us. No, he's not misleading us. Well, I say the same thing, he's not misleading us. So why are you saying the hand is not in the hand? If Allah's messenger is the most eloquent, that he does not want to deceive us, he does not want to mislead us. Yes, the hand can have a figurative speech, but you have to attribute the hand to the hand. I mean, so when we say, for example, كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام, everything upon the earth will be perished except the face of your Lord. The face of your Lord means the Lord. But we did not do reinterpretation. We said that we attribute the face as the face because Allah described himself as the face. So there's a face. But in Arabic, the face, it means what? The essence itself. And this is an Arabic language. If you're not an Arab, learn Arabic. And if you're an Arab, then something wrong with your heart. As soon as we hear the words of Allah Azza wa Jalla says, when the brothers or the sons of Yaqub, the brothers of Yusuf, they said to their father to go and check that we haven't killed we haven't really done anything to the little brother of ours. قال واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي كنا فيها. Go and ask the village. When you read that, if you don't have interpretation properly, ask the village, or then ask the doors and the windows and ask the bricks. What village? Well, they do put for you in English. Ask the people of the village. But in Arabic, we don't have to have that pressure. It's embedded in us. Ask the village, because as we Arab, it's al Qaryah, that means the people of the Qaryah. But the other ones, they haven't got. So when I say the leg of a table, who jumped to his mind the leg of a table? It's got bones and skin and blood. Unless you're an idiot. Do I have to say leg, not like humans, which is in bracket? Do I have to say that? Do I have to say that? Will they say the leg of a table? Okay. Leg, but watch out, it's not the leg of a human being. Unless you are go to do something wrong with you. So the leg, understandable. Same, this is natural. Same thing, face of Allah, the hand of Allah. Sometimes the hand of Allah means power, correct. But we attribute the hands to Allah. Because Allah described the power in something that belongs to Him, which is the hand. But because I'm not sick-minded, the hand of Allah comes to my heart straight away, suitable to His majesty. But it lands on the sick heart, and it's got nails, it's got skin, it's got, knuckles, it's got no hand, khalas, run away. Okay? So it doesn't like this paper person, leg of the table, leg of the table, skin, bone, no table legs, brother. Table cannot have legs. Same thing. Then he says, the khuluf. Khuluf, the bad smell that comes from an empty stomach. Every time your stomach is empty, it produces a smell. That smell, it's just like telling you, give me food. As long as you don't have food, I'm going to produce that smell for you. The stomach is asking for food. Don't worry about it. It doesn't mean, brother, as an invitation or in carrying with the Almighty, have a stinky mouth. As much as stinky that you are, more closer to Allah you are. No, you understand that? There's no competition in stinkiness. And some of the people, I see that, mashallah, it's stinky now that you showed him as fasting. No. You always hold the siwak or the toothbrush, whatever, and keep cleaning your mouth, make it smell nice as much as possible. You have to minimize, if there's a stomach smell coming out, minimize it as much as possible by putting siwak, by brushing your teeth, by not breathing into the face of people. You have to minimize that. That smell is with Allah good, but with people, you can't just say, brother, you see, it's good with Allah, should be good with you as well. Right. You're not laughing yet. The musk. The musk, which is in English, the misk in Arabic. Misk is the best perfume at that time. And with a sa'imi farhata, and the fasting person has got 2 times of joy when he breaks his fast. Of course he's happy. But the biggest happiness is when he meets his Lord. He will be happy that his fast will be received for him. Look, Sa'd ibn Sa'd, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, now, in Jannah,
in paradise there is a gate called Al-Rayyan. Those who fast will enter through it on the day of resurrection, and none other than them shall enter it. It will be said, where are those who fasted? They will stand, and none other than them shall enter it. When they all enter it, it will be closed, and no one will then enter through it.
And they will drink. So this gate is also for drinking, because you need, in the stages of the day of resurrection, you need a drink. When the sun comes to you, so close, he's sweating, dehydration, you need a drink. The first drink you're going to get, inshallah, from the pool. The Prophet ﷺ, how? That this drink will give you a sort of a booster until you go up the bridge, the qantara, and the gate of Jannah. So this is the hawd. You drink from it. Then after that, you're going to have the hisab, and you're going to have the weight, and you're going to have the bridge, and you're going to have the after, and then you have the Jannah. Then if you are fasting, you enter from the gate where you're going to have what? A drink as well. That's before you enter paradise. You enter from the gate of Rayyan. Naam. What time is the salah? Naam.
Fasting becomes a victory upon the sighting of the new moon. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, fast due to its sighting and break your fast due to its sighting. If it is obscured to you, then reckon the month to be 30 days.
Verily all the months which are lunar to be 29 or 30 days. Prophet ﷺ said, either the month for us, we are ummiyah, we don't know the hisab. We don't have sort of astronomical calculation. Either the month is for us like this, and he pointed 3 times with his hand, meaning 30 days, or like that, meaning 29 days. Either this or that. So, sighting the moon is something to be done for all the months. But there are 3 months which have more emphasis. The month of Ramadan and the month of Dhul Hijjah, because the month of Ramadan for the fast and for the Eid, and the month of Dhul Hijjah for the Hajj and for the Eid. And the month of Sha'ban, which is the 3rd, is for the month of Ramadan. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أحصوا عدة شعبان. Make sure that you count for Sha'ban. So as soon as Sha'ban comes in, we need to know the beginning of it, in order to know the 30th night. Why the 30th night of Sha'ban? So that the Muslims will come out and sight the moon for Ramadan. Either they will see the crescent, and then the following day will be Ramadan, first day, or they don't see the crescent, and then they will make Sha'ban to be 30 days. So the Prophet ﷺ said that this month will not be, the month of Ramadan, or any month, will not be established unless you see it. And then he says the hadith, Sumu, all of you, fast, Yuru'yati, for the sighting of the moon. Wa'afqiru, all of you, break the fast, that means for the Eid al-Fitr, when you see it. You see the moon, which is for the Shawwal. فَإِنْ غُمِّيَ عَلَيْكُمْ, but if you did not see it, because it was not there, or it was obscured by a cloud, okay, all of that, then count 30 days. And the sighting is to be done بِالْعَيْنِ الْمُجَرَّدِ, with our own eyes. So if a telescope of yours can see beyond the clouds and you see whatever you want to see, it doesn't work for us. But we see with our eyes, and we do it. I'll give you a very practical example of it. You know that there's sun eclipse, khusuf. Khusuf al-shams wa khusuf al-qamar. We know that the khusuf these days is to be calculated precisely and where exactly. So those people who are very rich and they have their own jet plane, they could just travel from one place to another while following this phenomenon. So in this country we had about 3 years ago, khusuf, or 4 years ago. It happened to be around about the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. And it was full khusuf, almost. Full, not partial. Eclipse. They said the khusuf is taking place in a particular area. Now, it is taking place. But some of the areas, some of the masajid couldn't see it because of the what? Clouds. But if you go on top of the cloud, you'll see it. How? The moon basically came into the orbit in a point which will block the sunlight during the day. That's the eclipse. So the moon, which is a small one compared to the size of the sun. But this is, subhanAllah, this is the amazing creation of Allah. It's not going to be, cannot be coincidence. The sun, which is so huge, how many times, 100 times of the moon size. And the moon, and then the earth. That moon comes into a certain time where it will block the sun ray, the disk of the sun, completely. Not more than it or less than it. Exactly, disk for disk. It's like to do with mathematics. You calculate it and you do it by inches. Do you understand me? So that moon was smaller in size, or further away, or closer, or bigger in size. So smaller or bigger in size. Or closer to the earth, or closer to the sun, it will not have this full eclipse. Did you understand that? This is amazing. This is, a person, he knows it, he has to believe in Allah. The sun to be blocked, not, see, you could block it more, but this is blocking exactly. So the disk, the edge of the disk of the moon, exactly matching the edge of this disk of the sun. Exactly. Or full eclipse. Not more or less. If it's partial, that means it's not going on top of the exactly blocking, but blocking half of the sun, quarter of the sun, 3/4 of the sun, so and so. If we don't see that eclipse, we can't pray the eclipse prayer. So we could pray it because we could see it. Another masjid, because we've got a cloud on top of their sighting, they can't pray it, we could pray it. That's what it is. So we see it with our own eyes. Now this sighting for the eclipse is different from the sighting of Ramadan. In the eclipse prayer, we cannot just ask, brothers, do you have eclipse in your masjid? Yes, so we pray eclipse prayer. No. Whereas Ramadan is all together. Do you understand? The eclipse, if there's eclipse in this masjid, because we can see it, the masjid which is in Bedford, another one, they've got a cloud on their side. They can't pray the eclipse. But in Ramadan, we have to fast together. And we saw the moon, then they have to abide by our sighting. Everybody has to fast. Not just this country, all Muslim countries. Sumu ru'yati, aftiru ru'yati. So you have to be together. And Islam came to unite Muslims and unite the people, not to make this unity amongst them. Sumu ru'yati wa aftiru ru'yati. And then if you are having something as an obscuring you from you seeing it, then count it for 30 days. How the testimony takes place. Now,
how is the beginning of the month confirmed? The beginning of the month is established by sighting the crescent by one righteous person or by completing 30 days of the month of Sha'aban. Ibn Umar said, the people were looking for the new moon. I informed the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that I had seen it. He then fasted and ordered the people to fast. If the new moon is not seen due to a cloud cover or due to some other reason, then Sha'ban is to be completed as 30 days based on the hadith of Abu Hurairah above. However,
hang on. Are you in the camera, man? You're looking after the camera.
Pardon?
You're looking after the camera, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Come forward, buddy. Come forward. Don't see the back. Wait. Let's see now. Abdullah ibn Umar, he was a teenager. The Prophet ﷺ died, he did not finish even 20. So when he saw the month of Ramadan was made obligatory in the second year after Hijrah. Prophet Ibn Abdullah ibn Umar, when he was in the Battle of Badr, in order to participate, he was too young. He's not what? Adult. In the Battle of Uhud, that's the year 3 after Hijrah, he participated because he was an adult. Adulthood is 15. So he was 15 when? In the year 3 after Hijrah. So the Prophet died was about 21. So which Ramadan that he's talking about, Allahu A'lam, but he was not an adult that much. So he says that I have seen the moon where the people did not see it. Told the Prophet of Allah, upon my sighting, he commanded everybody to fast. So one witness, and he's just, adl means a just, means like he's not a kafir, he's a Muslim. Adl means he prays these 5 daily prayers. Person who fasts Ramadan, that's the adl. If he says that I've seen it, we have to believe it and command everybody to do it. But if we do have the following, and the court, Islamic court, which takes the testimonies of those people who sign, let's say the calculation says it's impossible for you to see the moon. Impossible. But we're going to go on site because of the 30th night. But the moon is not. What's happening here? Too loud. It's too loud. I can't hear it. No. You're going to give me. There's something wrong with the speaker. Not wrong with the man. Really loud, too loud. Because I will get a headache. Then there's something on what we need to do. There's one speaker there. Because you could hear, look. You're going to be. No, that's too much. You shouldn't. Sort out yourself with the speakers. I have to see them myself. Inshallah. I'll do that for you. It's too loud. Fine. Unless they got annoyed with kids all the time. No. The sighting of the moon, it says that, for example, the calculation says the moon is not born yet. We're going to one site. If 3, 4, 5 people saw it, we're going to say, forget about the calculation. We could see the what? The moon. But yet, we have lots of people who are sighting, and the calculation says it's impossible to see it. And then one guy said, I saw it. Maybe the judge will not take his word. Why? Because everybody did not see it, plus the calculation says it's impossible, then the judge might be inclined not to take it. Why didn't another one person would? And at the time of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu ardah, happened. In his khilafah, a man, an old man, he came and he said, I saw the moon. Where everybody did not see the crescent. You know the crescent looks like what? Like this, crescent. It's a small little sort of edge of the moon comes out, which is the surface of it, the disk. So they said, there's no such thing. He said, yes, I've seen it. So he went with him to the spot where he saw the moon. And then he looked, and there was like a light. He said, there's the moon. There's no crescent. And then when they looked carefully into the eye of the man, he had an old man, he's got an eyebrow, like a crescent, falling into his eyes. When he looks into the light, it shows what? Crescent. No wonder why he did not take his sighting. So one person is enough, but the court might decide not to take that as sighting because of other facts in the matter. As for citing the day which is the end of Ramadan, then 2 witnesses are needed because of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if it is from the mistake, I don't think about this one, that the people who fast in a certain country with another country. So let's say, for example, you live in Jordan, my country, and your country did not announce the fast, and Saudi Arabia, which is next door, announced the fast. You're not allowed to fast with what? Saudi Arabia. You're not allowed to break and declare your Eid with Saudi Arabia, because you're going to be what? Doing your own Eid in your own country, which everybody is fasting and doing your own Eid. Can't do that. So you have to bind yourself with what? With the country. We don't want to split. There's a split between the Muslims. We don't want to make a split into the split. People in the same country splitting. Like in Pakistan, they have the north and the middle and the south. Each one has got their own moon. In the north, they make their own Eid. They make their own Eid. And each one has got his own Ramadan. Allahu Musta'an. In this country, some people follow the sighting of Saudi Arabia. Some people follow the sighting of whatever country. And some of this is no sighting. They call it no sighting. Following the what? The calculation. Already for them, they know when Ramadan. Ask the Brahmins, when is Ramadan? They'll tell you now. They know the day of Eid already. They've made a deal with the moon, basically. You ask them, when do you appear, or when do you disappear? When we went to like a sort of forum, Imams of the Masajid, I didn't want to go. They're being pushed. There's to be working for certain people there. I have to go to see the forum, because I know there's no usage anyway. And it's basically the people of the Salafis and the people of Dabandis and the people of the Brahmins. So the mainstream of the street. We want to unite ourselves in what? In the moon sighting. Well, first of all, we should unite ourselves in Aqidah. That's number one. Sighting the moon is secondary. But I say, you're talking about moon sighting and moon fighting and all of that. For verily we know for a fact that the brothers from the Bravery sects, saying the brothers of which is they don't make moon sighting. Already for them they know not just this Ramadan coming, even the Ramadan which is after years, for them it's been set. And funny thing about this is what happened last year. It's been on video circulating when in Manzil Way Masjid, Manzil Masjid which is in Oxford, Manzil Way, big masjid for the Brahmins. The moon was sighted according to the calculation of the Brahmins. The Brahmins don't like to have the same moon as ours. Their Eid is to be different from ours. So, during the night and after Taraweeh, it's on video. This guy just, the manager stood up and he says, well, who wants to have the Eid tomorrow, come to this side. You see it? Yeah, you see it. And he who wants to have the Eid the day after tomorrow, go to this side. So it's voting now, never mind sighting. Moon voting. And the guy was recording, he said, I want to have the Eid tomorrow, I'm on this side. What more do you want than that? Sighting and voting now. So they're voting on the moon. Who wants to have the Eid this day? Even the masjid itself is split on each other. I don't know if they had two Eids or one Eid, I don't know. But I know for a fact that every time there is the Eid before the Eid of the Brahmins or the Dabandis, we have, mashallah, big jama'ah for our jama'ah. Because the other ones, they only pray with as long as they don't really mess about with their life. They're going to have another day of Ramadan. Why should we have another day of Ramadan? Let's just have Eid with the Wahhabis. Shorter days. So you'll find the Brahmins, Dabandis coming with us. Have you noticed that or not? Oh, Jama'ah, it's really big. Where is this custom coming from? It's from them. Because they got fed up with that. They want. But after that, Assalamu alaikum, they go to the weddings. As long as they make their Eid with us. Khalas. Every Ramadan, we have two brothers, mashallah, going to have a big Jama'ah. Because they don't have their Eid until the day after. Right. Now we want you to finish with the last thing. Ala man yajib. Now.
Upon whom it is obligatory, the scholars are in agreement that the fast is obligatory upon every sane, adult, healthy, non-traveling Muslim. In addition, women must also pure of menses and post-patron bleeding. As for the fast, not being obligatory upon those who are not sane or adult, the Prophet ﷺ said, the pen recording the deeds has been raised and is not recording. For 3. The one who is sleeping until he is wakened, the child until he reaches the age of puberty, and the insane one until he becomes sane. It is not being obligatory upon those who are not healthy or who are not resident, based on Allah's words, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. But if any of you is ill or on a journey, the same number should be made up from the days. If the ill person or traveller do fast.
Okay. You haven't got about the child yet. So it says here that it is compulsory upon the Muslim, so the non-Muslim, there's no fast. The sane, so the insane, no fast. The adults, the one who reached 15 years old and is completed 15 years in the lunar system. That's 15 and a half solar system. Or he had a wet dream before this, or he had a pubic hair, or she had a menses if she's a woman. So there is no compulsion upon the ones who are non-adult. But now, the non-adult, the children, what should we do with them? Your wali, the guardian, the father or the mother of that child, they should train the child to make the fast as much as he can before he reaches the puberty. And the hadith for that the Prophet ﷺ's companions, Rubayya bint Muawwidh radiyallahu anha, female companion, she said, the Prophet ﷺ on the day of Ashura, he sent to the villages of the Ansar, and Ashura was compulsory, the day, the 10th of Muharram, and then it was abrogated when the month of Ramadan became compulsory. He said, for the person or those people who had drank or had food, then let him abstain and continue the day, because the obligation just came now. So let him can finish and it will be covered for them. And for those who are at the moment still abstaining from what will not eat, let them continue their day. So she said, Rubayya, we used to make our children as well to fast along with us. How? We used to make them to the toy made of the wool or the cotton and give it to the child every time he cries whatever he cries for, but if he cries for food, then we'll give him that toy to take his mind away from the food until it is the time for breaking the fast. So he'll get used to it. So the child, you start with him just like you start with a prayer. 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. You could have half a day, 3/4 of a day. Some of the children, when they are 10 years old, they will not break their fast, they'll fast. They like to fast. But the problem is go with the school. The school will not allow it. So, if you are homeschooling or Islamic school, you have no problem. But if it's a government school, that's the law. Can't have the children fasting. So what you need to make sure that maybe they'll fast until the lunch. Okay, until lunch break. Like, tell you what, if it stays like this, alhamdulillah, compare yourself with what happened to the people in China, and then you'll know what lessons you are in. China is imposing upon the adults, the workers, they may not fast. They have to break the fast openly so they could see them. Adults, workers. This is targeting the Islam. وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. As for the person who is not resident, a traveler, it is not compulsory upon him. So if the sick person also is not compulsory, if he fasted, or the traveler, he fasted, is no problem, as long as it is not affected. So we don't want you, if you're an ill person, to fast, and that would deteriorate your health. So the doctor said don't fast, especially the ones with diabetics. Some of the diabetics are very high. If he hasn't got food within a certain time, he might collapse. And that's dangerous. What is better, to fast or not to fast? This will be left, inshallah, for the following 2 weeks' time. And in that, we will try to finish, because it's not really that much. First bits, other one will take a bit of time. And after that, we'll go fast, inshallah. We'll finish all chapters of fasting in 2 weeks' time. If you have any questions regarding what you have heard, please go ahead.